Free money, why the hell not? ఆ! దొరికిండు దొంగ. ఎంత 4,000 ఇచ్చిండ్రా. సరే సెట్. నాదెంతుండే టోటల్ 48,000. అవును. హైయెస్ట్ ఎంత ఎర్న్ చేసినవురా టోటల్? ఐ మీన్ ఎంత ఉంచుకున్నావు పాయింట్స్? నార్మల్ కాయిన్స్ రా. కరెన్సీ. రైట్. నేను 47లో ఉన్నా. ఆఫ్ కోర్స్. నువ్వే కాదు నేనైనా అదే చేస్తా. ఎక్విప్‌మెంట్ ఈస్ ఇంపార్టెంట్.
Solid. He was winning a couple.
Oh
It
God.
looked like he was.
ఏం చేయాలిరా ఈడ? గోయింగ్ విత్ విండో ఫైన్ ఆన్ యూర్ ఓన్. పోన్లే. ఓవరాల్ సపోర్టే అయిందది. నేను అపోజ్ చేసిన యాక్చువల్లీ సిరిని.
Fnatic actually lose this? Yeah.
guys often talk about the
నేను
importance
పోతాలే
of the
అప్పటికి.
vibes on your team. So, what are the vibes like now that you guys are competing on a global stage? And also, can you give us a little bit of insight of your duo?
I think the vibes are really good. Despite our loss yesterday, I think it was a good learning lesson for the team. And yeah, vibes have never been better, so I'm excited.
You've seen pictures of Forsaken's muscles, Sylph at BB's muscles. No one's seen Austin muscles except me in the gym when he's spotting for me. I know that weight ain't dropping because my boy got me.
Wow, we have a trust going on here. All right, all right. Thank you.
Vans, this is your wheelhouse. You know, as an avid gym goer, how
That was
would you
good.
rate Crashies' muscles compared to, I guess they spoke about Forsaken and Super BB?
I saw him at the gym. They maybe
Oh, you've seen it?
Yeah,
Canadian
I've seen it at the
Grand
gym.
Prix is
It's
starting?
actually quite
F1?
chiseled.
Yeah, okay. He's got the
What's
receipts.
Boaster doing?
You're not impressed by my muscles, Sue?
Mimi, I'm impressed by other. You're good at other things. You bring other things to the table. Yeah, yeah. We'll hit the gym with Vans. We'll hit the gym with Vans. But that man on your screen now, I want to yinstigate a little bit here at
Okay.
what I do best. Now, for those of you that don't remember Optic Crashies, where were you? I'm not happy with you for that. You know, you got to catch up on some history here.
Pretty
When
good guess.
Optic played against Boom Esports, Xfero, previously known as Deboto, had one of the greatest global performances we have ever seen anybody have, dropping almost 40 kills against Crashies and Co. So this is going to be an interesting rematch today.
I think it was, what, 35 just on Breeze in that series. It was outstanding for the guy that is now going by X-Pharaoh. But that was a long time ago, what, almost 3 years now to come back and have another match, at least against that one guy. They got close, couldn't pull off the upset then. I think he's going to want it this time.
Yeah, I look forward to it because RQ, they're going to have to bring it if they want to survive in this lower bracket. But let's talk about the debut of this guy on your screen, Vansili. Everyone was excited to see him. Is he an onliner or not? Can he perform on the global stage? What were your thoughts?
I think he's still in line right now. Maybe not putting that the superb numbers that we saw towards that split one that led them to be able to win the EMEA region, but you know, it wasn't the slow start that we saw from Kag when it went towards kickoff. I think he still had a really good opener and still found his groove going into these games. He was not afraid to go toe-to-toe or even go aggressive for these early fights against Gen G. You're playing against Gen G and you're fighting these openers, I'm happy with that.
I do gotta disagree with you a little bit, because I think where he struggled was mainly on map 3, where the team as a whole was kind of
But that's a
failing
team.
across the board. That was more of a team issue in my mind. When they were competitive on those first 2 maps, I really thought he was excellent and finding almost the same form that he had back in EMEA. Those fights into mid we were seeing in the replay were amazing. His confidence, his aim, it was all there. And I think you have to kind of look back at the history of Fnatic.
Honestly, 14K
'cause they've
on a women,
always
not
been
bad.
So good.
I didn't
and
even move.
enabling their rookie players
14K
to
no
be
move, not
great
bad.
in their debut. Think of
14K no
Alpha
move, not
in
bad.
Copenhagen. Think of all of these
Really,
different
Texas?
youngsters
W,
that
bro.
they've brought into the team through their history that have always thrived in these positions.
For me, I think it's unbelievable that Alpha and Kayak were able to recover after the ultimates. Missing 2 of those ultimates. Alpha barely even left clicked at a Kayak. It was a weird interaction as well with the Delog goal, but Vans, they managed to recover on split. Not quite on Sunset, but this is what they do best, right? Fnatic don't often roll over and die after a loss.
What we had as a curse in terms of a small delay was actually a blessing for sure for Fnatic, because being able to calm things down and making sure that they're getting into the game, that the first seat curse doesn't really affect them that much. It was nice here to give a chance for Bolster to have those type of calls to allow here Alpha Year to calm down for those small mistakes that came through. So I still think that looking against RRQ, yes, it may look like on paper it should be a 2-0 for Fnatic here.
Is that
but I
French
think
or
RRQ
Italian?
could be able to do it.
Yeah, this game absolutely should have been a 2-0 for Gen G, but Alphair had an incredible rebound in the second half of Split, and I think his
I don't know, I
energy,
hope it's
his
Italian,
fragging
bro.
did a lot to pull greatness out of the rest of the team to make that 12-7
damn
comeback
it.
happen.
Yeah, we're going to check in with the players in just a moment, but before they take the stage, let's see what Golden Boy is up to. I
Is
see
French and
you're wearing a
Italian
nail
like very
from the
obviously
artist alley,
different?
so
He
I
still
wonder,
got it.
yeah, I wonder what GB,
So,
what kind of goodies
The
GB
thing
managed
is,
to get.
it's the first time that I had my nails done. I didn't know that this was like kind of permanent. I have to go.
I
get
need
it,
to see
like,
Italian. I don't
go
know if
into
I need to
a
see
place to get it
Italian.
done.
I haven't seen
let's
enough
see if
Italian.
GB got his nails done.
What's happening here?
So here at Valor Masters Toronto, we have a lot of really cool activations and booths, and one of those things is our artist alley with our amazing community. And I'm here with Kermi, who's, Kermi, who
Kermi
is-
Kai.
she's corrected me multiple times now. Kermi, you have a beautiful
Kermie
setup
Kai,
here.
W
Firstly,
Kermie.
tell me about yourself. Where are you from, and also what inspired you to do this?
I'm from Toronto, and I basically started art when I first got into VCT.
She makes
with
all the
Team
beautiful
Sentinels.
drawings.
Yeah.
And so at first I started with only Sentinels, but then slowly it transferred into mainly Tarek now.
Into mainly Tarek. Okay, that's completely fair. Actually, why don't you show us some of this stuff here? What do you have here? What's this? How long did it take you to do this and print out all that stuff?
Look at
I
me
have
in the
this one
desert.
as a freebie of Tarek. It's supposed to be him with his like final mouse collab.
W
And I also have
Kermie.
like keychains and pins with him and stuff.
That's so cool. So now, how's the experience been for you here in Toronto, meeting people? Has it been a fun one?
I was like really
Check her out at
nervous
the
at
Artist
first,
Alley if you
but
do go.
Everyone here is really nice, and it's just like a really wonderful.
Oh my God, the Go Valorant. Oh my
And
God,
look
the
at you,
Go
you're killing
Valorant.
it. I came around here. You had a full line. People were checking out your stuff. There is one thing that I saw that I absolutely loved. We can actually get a zoom in on it here. The anatomy of Wingman.
Wingman's
and we have one here, if
anatomy.
you don't mind me, I'm gonna. Yeah, it's a small version right here,
It's so
right?
cute.
This is hilarious. So, how did you determine Wingman's anatomy?
I just guessed.
And I'm sure he'll just guess too, right? That's
But,
awesome.
Surely he has a lot of like squishiness, so thankfully I didn't have to guess too much.
Yeah. No. To be fair, that's what my wife says about me as well. So
I gotta
it makes a
go
lot of
there.
sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
No, look, honestly, this is amazing.
I'm gonna go to
Incredible
I'm gonna go
stuff.
check the booth out for
Check
sure.
out the Artist Alley booth. Check out
Check out the
Kirby.
Artist
She is
Alley if
an
you're at
incredible
Toronto.
designer, making fun things for the community at a good price, and it's worth your time. Kermie, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate you.
Shout out Kermie.
Now,
Love
if
you.
that is not hard-hitting journalism, I don't know what is. But Rob Moore still flawless in predictions, and he's gone with Fnatic going into this one. What do you guys think?
I think that, didn't he say in one of the tweets and the replies, like, I was going for the other team, but who cares? We're going to let him keep the 2-0 right now for Rob Moore. I want to
he's
focus.
technically 3-0.
He's technically 3-0, yeah, but I want to think about me here. RRQ, I believe in that. Achilleos, the same. So I'm gonna trust Achilleos. I DM'd him yesterday. He's been the Achilleos Al-Gaib. I want to make sure I follow along with that, and now we're able to get our prediction right.
Give me the spark notes. Why do you think RRQ's winning? What's the sell?
Okay, so as I was mentioning before, Xfair was saying not used to playing against a slow playstyle of Wolves. I feel that they could do this against Fnatic.
Kermie's in the
Crazy
chat.
Guy was mentioning
Kermie
as well. He
W.
wants to leave everything on the table. They want to make sure that
Kermie,
they
that
don't
was
fall
awesome.
flat
You
going
did
into this
great.
game. And you also have
That was
Warbirds,
awesome.
recently added into RRQ, and he is the anti-strat master. So having that many rounds and tape against Fnatic, I'm sure they're cooking something up here.
Yeah, you're selling me on the team running.
What the, Ohio?
With him coming into that roster.
Okay, yeah, we won't talk about what happened.
When does Randy Savage play?
We just, I don't know who that is.
Okay, I think I'm
Tier
getting too
two.
deep in this one.
Yeah, right.
Randy
I do
Savage.
know who that is. Sorry, Renegades.
Yeah,
Renegades,
yes,
Randy
yes,
Savage.
yes.
The Valorant team.
Yeah.
From like 3 years ago.
He sent me some merch, you know.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
sorry for egoing you just now. But yeah, we have the players backstage ready to take the stage. This could potentially be the start of a beautiful lower bracket run, and one team will be going home no matter what. So let's send it down and bring out Fnatic and RRQ. What happens, what matters now for Fnatic and RRQ is if they can make a lower bracket run, and
I'm being
that
serious?
starts right
Of
here.
painting of
RRQ
myself?
struggled against a slow,
I mean,
macro-heavy team in
it's
Wolves.
kinda
But it was their
egotistical.
debut on stage for a very young
Low-key
team
kinda
who is
egotistical.
new to this global level
But
as
nah,
a 5.
I
Fnatic,
don't know,
they're going to be a
bro.
tough opponent, but they
A
have to put
painting
their
of
all into it
myself?
now.
I think that's important, an
That's
important thing that you bring up. And
crazy.
it is RRQ's first time here coming on the stage, so I almost feel like you could come into this game with a nothing to lose mentality. Let's just have some fun. While for Fnatic, there's so much pedigree behind that name that falling flat into an O2
I'm not opposed to the
back on
idea.
stage,
That's what I'll say.
it's not something that they want.
If I had a penny for every time I rage in the Omen map select, I will have 2 pennies because I really was convinced that Fnatic are going to pick Icebox, considering RQ have already showed it here.
Yeah, and they looked rough on that Icebox as well. But I imagine it will have been a focus, and Fnatic is excellent at, I think their Split, Lotus, and Icebox are all world-class maps, so I don't get it either, but I'm sure there is a reason, there is a read.
They're also a prep-heavy team. They like the VODs, they like to counter-strat, and there is already a VOD, which it doesn't happen very often in this tournament. So Van Silly, they have to start strong and convince us why they pick Lotus.
I'd like to think from Fnatic's camp, the prep going into this game is because they know that most likely they're not going to play a tail comp on the side of RQ. So what is the next big comp that RQ has been playing during the kickoff is actually trying to mirror Fnatic without the exception of a KJ playing a Vice. So if you're going into that one, it's something that's in the wheelhouse of Fnatic that's always been very good.
I got Fnatic here.
Yet again, Fnatic having the easiest time of any team coming out of the Teo meta with their pivots because they just didn't play a ton of Teo. Both these maps to start, I would be absolutely shocked if they changed their comp,
Stupefy.
on both of them in EMEA, and both of them, the meta comp for a while was named after this team.
Yeah.
Like,
and in the second round of bans, you know, they had 3 choices. They instantly take out the Sunset as well.
Yeah.
You
Get it gone.
Yeah, gone completely. But do you feel like maybe RQ could have abused that and picked the Sunset for themselves?
Yeah, I would have been interested to see, but I think it was a risk, right? Because they also haven't really played a ton of Sunset. In some ways, when you're in a high-pressure match like this, you don't want to take a huge risk. You want to play more towards comfort, but it just comes down to how good their Haven can actually be against Fnatic.
And I think that's why they took it, because Fnatic just played against Gen G. You were just mentioned before, this is something that Fnatic likes to do, study the tape. That's something that RQ does a lot here.
But one of the biggest reasons
What
I
the
think
fuck did
Fnatic
that sign
lost
just
that
say? Did I
Haven
just
game
see
was
fucking
struggling
something?
to play into the Viper, which
My inner
RQ
thoughts just take
hasn't been
over my
playing.
fucking vision?
I could see them pivoting into that as they were a Teo team before, but Fnatic's
the tape. That's something that RQ does a lot here.
But one of the
You're lucky I can't see your face, bro. I would have pulled up on your ass. I'll be in Toronto soon.
The biggest reasons I think Fnatic lost that Haven game was struggling to play into the Viper, which RQ hasn't been playing. I could see them pivoting into that as they were a Teo team before, but Fnatic
And then you just kind of know how the map is being played when you're just not going to play against a Vice or a KJ. Everything else stays identical in terms of, you know, the slow pace default towards C, your lurks towards the A side. So Fnatic definitely knows how to play against that.
Yeah, I'm looking at Cushy here. He was playing the Sova mostly in the first series that RQ played and was really good on that role. For Vice here, he has a lot of agency when he's on defensive side to make plays, to hard hold down that C site. You expect greatness from him.
It is my great honor to introduce to you your casters for this match. It is a real treat. We don't get this one very often. Give it up for Pansy and Kakuka.
Yeah, thank you so much. A bit of a surprise. Mike looking better than ever. So I am very pleased to be joined by you here, Bea.
Is it Kakuka's
love to be the side chick in this relationship.
first cast? I could be wrong.
Okay, you put me on the spot instantly, but let's kind of focus in on this because we do have an elimination here, right? Between these two, that first seed curse has been working wonders, right? Everyone seems to be suffering But what's your takeaway from that first game when we saw both of these teams?
Not first, but she doesn't do it often, I see.
Yeah, when I look at the side of RRQ, I have to
What's their
echo
casting
the words
name?
that Mimi was saying. I think that Kushi played a very big part, and especially moving on to Lotus with them
Papuka,
starting on the
Papupa,
attack. This
Papupa.
Vice is going to be very important because unlike the Cypher,
Papupa.
unlike the Killjoy, you do not have a utility that is going to tell you someone is in the back besides that wall. And that can be triggered so easily from the side of Fnatic. But both of the teams
Also
can
short
start
for
very
Poopa.
carefully on that
And also
one,
short
of
for
this one,
Poop.
especially Fnatic with how
Wait, I didn't say
slow
that.
they were yesterday and
Yeah,
whatnot.
that was supposed to be
Feel
like-
like they want to test the
Don't twist my
I
words
really
here.
like this though from Fnatic, getting proactive over
Wait,
towards Mount,
okay.
taking spaces,
God
the
damn it.
exchange of goods.
I did not
almost.
cook.
Yeah, Rubble's not ours, so we're going to lean over
That
this
was
way.
supposed to be like
Clear
funny and
B
cute, but it
main.
wasn't, and
a
I'm
nice
sorry.
beginning, but RRQ's pace is tempered.
I
They're
mean
taking
no
their
harm.
time. They're not in a particular hurry.
I want to see how this change in the composition is going to affect the way the RQ have been playing. Crazy Guy finds the first 2 kill onto Alvier and Chronicle, but Boaster gets the response.
Yeah, the third just felt a little too far away. Xfero just catching crashies.
Oh, mama.
And this is huge though. Kayak and Boaster aren't going to be pleased about this, but Kayak's done brilliantly thus far, but gets outgunned.
Wait,
This
Fnatic
is the
could get
start
eliminated,
that
huh? Early
RRQ
days,
be
though.
dreaming about. Now he asks
A little
big
bit of a
question.
whiff, yeah.
The main man himself. Can he lead by example? A 1v3, a lot to ask for. Sheriff to hand. And a glance left and right. The first couple of steps, almost the deadliest. This cross is in place
right.
on the contact. Jemkin more than able to do it. And a good, comfortable start for RRQ.
Yeah, Fnatic that definitely wanted to fight. We saw a lot of Sheriffs going onto that pistol round, and that definitely was a pain point for Fnatic yesterday. Yes, they managed to win like 3 out of the 6 that they played, but in 2
That
of
second
those,
kill on
they
Chronicle
lost the
sucks.
next round. So it's not looking good. Definitely some of the homework that they need to do if they get back to EMEA. Maybe they can start a little bit earlier today. But for RRQ, being patient, finding the kills, finding the space, and a very quick response if they're pushing and putting all of these numbers in C. Of course, A is going to be very weak.
So, can they continue this? I'd like to see what RRQ looks like with some more confidence. It was a brutal start for them. But Fnatic, once again, being proactive here, and why not in this round? A lot of classics, and an isolated player, a good reward, at least a Sheriff to be found, but you can see the
One for one, not
trade-off
bad.
here, straight towards C-site. RRQ, not really too fussed now, a good idea of where Fnatic are.
Yeah, exactly. And leaving Xfero in the back just with the Sheriff. No weapon is going to be found for the side of Fnatic. 4 classics to play
Hold.
for this retake. Kayak has already taken the long round. It's going through CT. Still, all the utility from the Vice is already in play, and RRQ
they're
should
going
have
for
a
it,
very
though.
easy time closing this round.
And should is always the primary word, but I agree with you. They do have these 3 rifles that they really can't
But look at
afford
the
to lose
positions.
those. They need to keep these, and they need to stay clean in this round. Fnatic would love to make it a bit more costly, trying to lock them into the site at the very least, but time to slip forward. Crazy Guy still farming up. Monyet as well, gonna find Boaster. And
Oh.
so far, so good. It's that one loss of a gun that could cost them here. Crazy Guy does go down. I don't think that can be particularly gathered. Kayak gonna go for a wild play. And now they just need to back
keep holding,
away.
keep
So
holding.
2 rifles making it out there, the Guardian and the Vandal on Jemkin.
Yeah, comfortable
Hey,
so far
hold.
for RRQ.
We
Again,
keep
being
holding.
fast on those reactions, getting into good positions for the post plans. Monyet being ready with that paranoia. Even though he was playing
This
one
guy's
of the
cast
rifles,
is
still
kind of boring,
very
not gonna
good
lie. It's
position.
been
He
one
can react
round,
to
you
all
fucking-
the utility that all the team can use onto that. We also saw the Vice flash. So very
I'm gonna get a
comfortable
headache.
for them. By the way, the next map is Haven. I would
can't
love
yell.
to see Monyet on a duelist. I think it's about damn time.
I'm with you in that, but I want to see them get there well. I want to see this team show that potential. There was a lot of talk about RRQ leading up to this.
This is a classic. Boaster with the Odin.
I'm having a little look
Laying on
towards
tree.
Kayak.
I think I've seen this film before.
It's the corner that's going to be
Oh, it's a hard
costly. He
shot.
sticks around too long, but he plays it well enough. Gets to slip away. You can see again patience being shown by RRQ here, kind of going through the paces of this map. But
Take a
both of
Talano, I
this looks
should.
reinforced here.
Yeah. One of the things that
Who
I was
won G2
seeing about
XLG?
RRQ is
J9,
this
wake up, bro.
later takes onto A, struggling a little bit to fight at the beginning of the round. And Boaster's ready, trying to deal some damage. Jimkin has already taken a bit.
Again, from their previous matchup, in my mind, I was looking a lot towards Jemkin, at least, with the entries and how he
My
was
Odin
faring in
goes.
that. And it was a bit rough for him. He wasn't able to find his footing. This could be a much better game for him.
What do you think about the team's not giving the Vandal to the? Well, he's low on HP right now, so we're just gonna give it the Sheriff.
Yeah, that's completely reasonable. But again, they do need to handle Boaster here to an extent. They can't allow him too
Wait,
much
Jemkin's
freedom
low.
throughout this game, but
A lot of
forced to
faking.
respect it.
You see the paranoia, the TP, all that noise. Fnatic set to respect that. But the movement from RRQ already ready to enter C.
But that was very telling. Kayak noting the player crossing back through. It steadies the ship. Ready's Chronicle to receive, and Jemkin goes down. He was the player lowered down, though, on HP. This is still a bonus round, but it's invested, so there is cost to this. And speaking of things that are running out, is time. 15 seconds, and Crash. X-Furrow, you nutter! Clears Crashies like
Oh my god, what a clear.
Suddenly we're down to a 4v4 post-plant, and RRQ are back in the driving seat.
Yeah, and Boaster with that Odin
I
is
like
not going to
Nutter.
have an easy time. Crazy guy that found the perfect timing to go on through Hobbit and support the rest of the team.
I like what Cushy's doing, though, playing that a little bit disconnected. It does open up risk, but they've got the support, at least for now. Cushy gets cleared quickly by Alpha, who needs an upswing in performance, but Monient's response is get proactive. Fight back towards CT. Kayak comes into the building,
Kayak.
though. And now down to just Crazy Guy, a 1v3. Not able to stand the test. A necessary round for Fnatic.
Yeah, and it's so important for them that even in that 4v4 with the time
They went
BB running
crazy on the
against them as
retake.
the spike was
They
going
came in
down
like
and all the
fucking
utility
SWAT
and
team.
no information onto where RRQ were playing after having a very strong rounds for those post plants is having that patience. You still have a lot to work with. It doesn't matter that crazy kill.
That looks
from
insane.
Crashies. But Kayak, yesterday, he
Kayak.
was marvelous, wonderful on his debut, especially on Haven. At least good for two on most of the rounds. Good job, Chronicle is saying. Another player that should be
You are in the
comfortable for
game, bro.
today.
Welcome to the server.
Yeah, this is the round, though. I'm looking at Crazy
Oh,
Guy
no,
as
it's
well.
Crashies. They're just going to be swapping around the Odin.
If I wasn't a
They're
gamer, what would
Crazy
I have
Guy early,
been?
so if they
I
have
don't know,
a
probably a
set piece
doctor or
in
some
mind
shit,
they'd like
bro.
to run, they at least have that as an option. Alpha, Kev, that was a little bit too
Doctor,
risky for
dentist,
me.
you know.
Alpha, out on a limb. Could have been punished, wasn't, and there's the instantaneous ult. It's quick. They're not really pulling their punches, and we're complementing the pacing, but now Alpha's going to punish Moniette
Michael.
on the cross-up. Spike's still hesitant to commit through here, but now will be making its way.
Yeah, we saw at the beginning of this game, RRQ taking those ores, farming this ultimate, but Fnatic knows how to play
Rocket,
around it.
rocket.
The spike is going to go down, but they're very ready. Cushy finds the first
Oh
one.
no. He bit it out the rocket.
The next layer, the next step, Chronicle catches Jemkin, and we're down
Flank.
to 2. The flank feels almost out of place,
Good
but it might be the
sees.
heroics they
Good
need.
sees.
But they're dwindling in numbers. Only one alive.
Oh
and
no, where is
Chronicle's
he?
awareness is just too
Big.
good. Fnatic keeping 4 standing. A big reply here to the early start from RRQ.
Yeah, the spike is going down, but these post plants are just not as effective. When you see a Fnatic on the other side, that seems to have recovered that confidence that in so many occasions yesterday was missing. All that utility to come in, preventing RRQ from having an easy time on
Am I
the side.
drunk?
And
No, I'm
Fnatic's
just
also
sick.
taking on the
I'm
opportunity
sick.
to break the tempo, to not let them take those positions. We
control,
know
everything's under control,
how
let's go.
difficult it can get for any team to retake on C.
This is where it truly begins. See that depth of RRQ, the frustrations, I'm sure.
What the fuck?
And the dances.
Of course.
Wait, Bosa's
like
got
they
his
are.
shorts on today, showing off his legs.
Set, though,
We
please.
might be in for a
really
treat, guys.
short. Don't need to pause this early, mate. Let's keep it calm. But okay, Stinger's coming out, Judges there, so a couple of bits and pieces to
Wait,
look
what?
out for. How are they gonna?
Oh,
I mean,
and you
this-
know they've been playing the Odin. Are you sure you want to do this?
Oh, Kayak, potential to farm here.
Uh-oh. Pros don't clear corners.
Just has to wait. Chronicle sells them down.
Wow, that was so satisfying, bro.
Without a paddle.
Nah,
And
that was
it's
so
just
satisfying.
perfect. Happy to make those
Dude, he's
plays
like
and
fucking
confidence
robot.
builders for the main
His
man on
aim.
the stage.
Absolute flawless round for the side of Fnatic. Yes, it wasn't the biggest investment for RRQ, and there was definitely an idea to
He's-
show a little bit of face on A.
The way
maybe
he's
drag
killing
some
them, it's
attention
like
from
he's
Fnatic,
fucking-
but
we're
Chronicle
charging
and
him per
Kayak
bullet he
were
shoots.
ready for this
Bro, once
aggression
you buy the gun, the
on
bullets are
2B.
free, man.
Timeout now being requested. It is time to slow things
He's
down.
like-
They're saying-
good job, boy.
Oh, yeah. They were speaking about the vibes. Crashy said that they were immaculate, that they were better than ever, despite the loss from yesterday. It's definitely telling.
Did he
Yeah,
say
it
good
is.
boy or
And
good
again,
job boy?
This is kind of the, I guess, polar opposites in play here as well. When we talk about the big leagues coming out to these stages, you got one of the big teams against you. Fnatic has a very wealthy history of that, even coming off the back of a loss.
Is Kayak
You're
a
looking at
rookie?
what people were referencing is like that Shanghai
well, he's been on
nightmare
Fnatic
before
for a little
facing
bit now.
Gen.G, dropping into
It's
the
his
lows,
first
and then obviously
international.
We all know what happens
I
up
wanna
against
say-
Foot, right? The ridiculous happened. But
Was he at
Fnatic,
the
again,
last
when we're
one?
talking about the composure capability there, the fact
his
that they've
first
been
international,
in these
yeah.
scenarios, they
Many
can
times.
fight through it. Now,
Yeah.
for RRQ, this is the first time they're taken to these sort of stages, the pressure is tenfold. It's not easy. So a nice early pause here.
Especially when you're still, like, there's the question of, did you really deserve that first seed? We were just in a crazy run. Especially with how Gen G is looking,
yeah,
you can be like, oh my god. And Paper Rex as well.
But would you say that about
strong teams?
G2?
Listen, Lauren.
Yeah?
G2 played amazingly. Did you not see the first match?
I'm a
Leap
G2
was
fan.
close in everything. That
I'm a
man was
G2
on
fan,
the-
but-
Yeah, and you are right. You're a Potter fan and you're a G2 fan, and you're right for that, Lauren.
Is G2 an EU org or an NA org? Does anyone know?
This again, this Odin in play has been something that we know is such a
Crazy Guy's
it's
ready to respond.
really frustrating. They do need to find the reaction to it, which I said maybe Crazy Guy doing this. So they found a way
EU
forward,
org.
right? They've made it at least towards rubble. That's something. It's a step in the right direction.
Again, this is vintage from Fnatic, just playing from tree with this Odin. We've seen it a million times. It was definitely not Crashes carrying it.
Nah.
Aww.
The
Expecting a
bromance
bit of damage, at least, you know?
exchange here between the two. Picks up the mantle.
Booster takes it, so Crashes can start throwing some utility.
Ooh, the timing on this, though, actually not good. Booster left completely adrift there. Flash in hand and air punish. Crazy Guy unleashing. Now, they've got to know there's still a player towards that A side. They've got to know there's one towards door. They've got a good read on these positions early.
Yeah, we're speaking about it being vintage. That is probably one of the responses and one of the adjustments that RRQ made for this
What
round.
just happened?
Let's fight for bubble. Let's grab their attention and let's force
Focus.
some
I'm
duels.
losing my focus.
Now leading them into this 4v3. Xfero also with his ultimate. If they get to that post-plant position, it could be looking very good for RRQ.
Now, I like this pause. It's good. Gives you a chance to get a bit of a punish, but you are going to have to start moving. Maybe depending on the lurk. Maybe
Big.
banking, you're going to get passed out, but it comes out well,
Wow.
but a good trade. Then Crashies plays it forward. 20 seconds now. It's getting down to the wire. The lurk's
Wow.
going to be an issue. But Crashies holding on so well. And Cushy.
Wow.
Killed Fnatic. In all that chaos, looking composed.
Damn.
And this is another layer.
It's looking
for
good from
the
both teams,
comfort,
really.
Getting those traits. You are already forcing that very.
That was a
close
3v4,
fight.
right?
We need the confidence to go one after the other. Karashi's dodging that ice from the Fate perfectly, just pushing at the right time, especially when the other player is playing the Odin. It's going to take a little while to get that gun out. A lot of
Wait,
players
Crashies got
standing up on
up.
stage today.
And I'm
Crashies got
genuinely very
up.
happy to see Crashies having a good performance here. His return to form has been
absolutely
meteoric near on. It's been outstanding. So for him, happy to see that. Obviously, a lot of stars aligning. And for RRQ, gonna need to see a fight back now. This is starting to feel like a bit of a drought of rounds. Fnatic's starting to look more and more comfortable, more and more confident. You don't want to see that if you're RRQ. You need to break back in.
We see Kayak playing with the Outlaw for this round. Of course, the economy not being the best for RRQ.
He's got
This
his
is one of the
rocket.
rounds that you can definitely take advantage. One bullet to any of the players on the other side, and they are gone, Lauren.
Yeah, and again, though, if you're looking at this, RRQ will have a lot of ults. I want to see them utilize them well. I don't want it just thrown out with a small chance of a win. I need to see them kind of build around that. A big opportunity, maybe in the coming round with a good purchase behind it. Be fantastic to see. However, patience now being displayed.
Think so, Sabrina.
Slow and steady.
Focusing on getting the orbs, as you're saying, thinking about the next round.
We'll
Almost
see.
everything is going to be available for RRQ. Man, that Odin's broken. It barely does any damage.
But this is keeping a lot of Fnatic players hit.
Oh my
3
God.
players on the site now.
He
Again,
actually
we
hit
can
both
see
a couple
where
times.
the others reside. Alpha sat towards CT, but it's Kron again.
Monyet
just
dead.
punishing.
Spam.
Monyet's gone down. They're not getting given many chances. Look how far they have to dig to even get a fair fight on any of these Fnatic players. Don't give up the site, but there's a lot of players spotted. It's so clean.
Spike down, C.
Crazy Guy. Xfero, there's just nothing landing for him here. Now
Ew.
it is done for.
Flawless.
Fnatic up to 5, a flawless round to get there as well. I need RRQ to hit the ground running in this round coming.
Absolutely. Only 2 rounds on the board, and as you can see on your screens right now, it was the pistol and the next one. Nothing found in this rifle round. Fnatic also very knowing what parts of the map each person is in charge of. The movement that Chronicle is having today, the confidence that we're seeing, and the right moment into when to take some fights, when to back off and wait for the rest of the team. We saw like at least a couple of flawless rounds, and yesterday we saw a Fnatic that was barely putting a round together.
Okay, this time though, look at the fight, look at the adjustment. Boaster playing over towards
So many ultimates.
Yeah, backed away from this.
On both sides.
Yeah, I did notice that Fnatic got theirs as well, so a lot of counters here. This could get messy. Let's take note of what we've seen though. Zero pressure across the map, not a default by any means by RRQ, right? So you've got an exploration already happening for Kayak with that operator, deeper line. The battle for tree begins, the battle of spam is going to continue. Door gets open. Boaster needs to respect this though. The Prowler behind it. Fnatic need to be careful because they are at the door, maybe not believing the amount of bodies here. It's an explosion, literally. Jemkin takes away Boaster. Crashes tries to play it forward. He's still denying that there's any crosshair. He gets called out to Alpha. They're coming back. It's a 1-for-1 trade, but RRQ are dropping these bodies.
Whoa.
Whoa! He's so quick! Flies through and finds him in the heels.
Double satchel.
And now they're locked in with them. A quick TP taken, gets him out of dodge for Monyet. He's on the other side of the map. There's the layering of these ults coming in.
All of them actually come in. That Viper's Pit guaranteeing the plant and maybe an easier position. This from Monya is not going to find anything. Fnatic getting all together. And Kaya going in with the Odin. Everything is out for the side of RRQ.
Destroyed.
Nice ultimate coming onto play. Only those secondary weapons for Fnatic.
This surely is it for RRQ. This is a great reaction. It's a heavy investment. They've even got a nice disconnected position from Monyet. He sees nothing towards this playback in from CT. It's going to all come through the choke point. It's time to go. Crashy's still going to get down Cushy.
Pretty hard
2v2.
retake, saving.
Time, though, starting to fade away here. I think they know it as well. It's taken a great deal for RRQ, but they've managed to find a response here, Bayer. It took basically everything they had.
Yeah, exactly. They still have Crazy Cat's ultimate for next round if they want to use it, but it has not been easy at all. A lot coming into this round. They knew that they had to be patient, taking the space for them to use the proper ultimates. Kayak, yesterday we did not see him with the operator.
Wait, both teams are looking good, right,
Did
chat?
not have enough credits to even purchase it.
Nice, guys.
Definitely should be a change for today. So important as well, the way that they played that post line with X-Pharaoh. Yes, they were in his ultimate, but he had to be
Why do I look high?
outside
Do I
of
look
that
high?
fight for
I'm
that
just sick and
post line to be
tired.
successful.
That was 4
That's
ults,
probably why I'm
though.
not talking that
was
much here, too.
everything near on. Yes, there's still crazy
I'm
guys.
trying to
but look
lock
at this
in,
on
though.
position.
Oh.
Yeah, it's stunning. Kayak gonna get away with
Damn.
the first. Jemkin punished, and he's had a quiet first half here.
I am so sad that we do not get to see the Icebox from Fnatic and see Kayak on top of any wall with the operator. But maybe we'll get there. Opener for them, and Jenkin is out.
Yeah, what's the plan now? They've lost the tip of the spear. So they kind of fall back.
I need this to get a kill eventually. Either way, I don't care.
Fair enough. As it stands, just a frustration, really.
That's
for us
someone
to be
called
respected,
to
and
join the call without
curiosity
less
starting to
talking for
mount,
me.
though. Lovely
No,
work
it's probably more
synergizing
talking.
that, at least
I mean, I don't mind talking. I'm
through.
just watching the game.
There's still
I'm chilling.
attendance over on this side.
I'm
Yeah,
chilling.
and after the pause, we've seen RRQ just going for A-hits most of the time, just fighting for rubble at the beginning of every round.
All of this just for Boaster, and he's still
Paranoid.
alive. They still haven't cleared him. He's still standing. Someone kill him. Finally goes down.
Crashies,
But the
avenge.
brother in arms swings back in. X-Pharaoh falls, and now Crashies once
You won't go through.
He's damn close.
Ooh,
Okay.
that was fast,
Forced
no?
to give away a little bit
I
of
could just be
position and slow
fucking.
down from maybe
I could be
springing
slow, but
forward,
that was
but
fast.
catching Cushy trying to take
Damn.
some space.
2v4.
They don't look comfortable in this post plant now.
That was fast, but I'm faster.
His ultimate is not going to go down. And it's only
Crazy guy, what do you got?
to defend this post man. Already opening the door. They know where he is, and he's going to lose his weapon.
Oh.
Alpha, he doesn't care. Closes out the round. Chronicle diffusing. He's going to half it, probably just give it to another one of his teammates. Still, RRQ, after that pause, just going for A hits most of the time. Just fighting for rubble. They've been dodging Kayak and that operator. Oh, they thought they were.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried that they're running out of steam here.
It's too early for that, isn't it, Lauren?
It should be, but again, they're finding no easy solution to having anyone to clear out whoever's going to be sat with that Odin on tree, right? Yeah, it's
You're the guy.
looking
You're the
comfy.
man. You're the man.
Literally, it looks comfortable for Fnatic, and I'm glad they've used both timeouts here because, again, it's been Boaster or potentially on occasion why it was Crashy sat there as well with it, but they haven't found a way to clear that out without using what? There was a Fatal on it, there was everything put to this.
I think the most important part is that they are clearing out. They do get to kill the person that is in tree. The problem is the second layer that they have not been able to find a solution to. It looks like A is not the kind of site that Fnatic is more down to play for the retake because they want to fight their
I am
opponents
live, by
as
the
they
way.
walk onto the
I'm
site.
sorry,
So
I was
maybe
replying
it's
to a
time
message.
to change the plan. Hey guys,
We're
maybe
trying to set
we've
up
been
NBA
too
practice.
focused onto A. But even though this is just the first half and this is RRQ's second timeout, they need to get back into the game. They've only won one rifle round, and that has to change.
Yeah, this is looking like
Why are you guys
Fnatic have a lot
retweeting? Stop
to,
retweeting JNAM, bro. You're giving him
prove
too much
here,
attention.
really. After the loss to Gen G, I think a lot of us kind of walked away, though. I don't say expecting it, but
It's not
Gen G
pinned.
looked one of the most lethal teams during Swiss.
He unpinned it.
Like, I think that's a really
What
fair
a
assessment.
pussy.
Those guys look like they could do a deep run. Anyone who doubts that,
They said
needs to
it
watch
yesterday.
What a
Like I
pussy.
think it was Munchkin that said anyone that didn't pick
That's
us
cringe,
as a
bro.
team to fight, they're cowards. And he said based on that. That was cold.
That is actually so.
Chronicle 9-2.
Yep. Kayak
No
up there
wonder
as
he's
well.
smiling, telling everybody that they're great.
I mean, nothing's really hindered them. Wait and see RRQ's response. Again, this was the double timeout in the first half, so...
Double timeout
bring
first
everything
half?
into it,
Are you guys
pretty
watching the
much.
game?
Viper's Pit instantly put down towards the C site. That's just going to be Chronicle, basically closing the door. You want this, you got to put a whole lot to it yourself. Now, Sparrow...
Oh, no.
Me and him, not much different.
He found the kill with the Odin.
Yeah, but...
Do we take that?
But I think that kind of sums up a lot of what we're seeing. This feels flat. It feels like it's flat-lining for RRQ, and it's devastating, right? We know that these guys are very good.
Nah,
We
low-key,
know
I
how
get that
good
kill. You're not
Jet was.
wrong.
We know how much people are
And that's
hyping
why I'm
this team
saying
up.
I
Even
have a
yesterday,
place in the server,
you look
bro.
at Cushy, who's doing great. You're looking at some of the players, even in the loss, you're like, okay, there's a lot here. But today, it feels like it's compounded.
I think that maybe one of the things that we've been missing is Xfero doing what he was doing just now, just being a little bit more on the lurk, trying to find something.
Oh, and all they find
Why does Chronicle
is
just randomly turn into Thanos?
putting on a clinic.
Is this the third flawless round for Fnatic just in this half? 12-2 currently for Chronicle. Definitely these better performances in this.
I know,
impact that
JNAM,
Kayak
that's why I was
he signed
last.
in with the operator, something
That's part
was
of the
mentioning
reason I
was
stopped
not
playing, bro.
there yesterday.
Don't tell
I was
nobody.
saying the economy, of course, with all of these rounds for Fnatic is not looking good for RRQ. Desperation on their faces. How do you get back into this? 2 more rounds for their attack.
4 Breeze, 2 Sova.
And Fnatic has a lot to play with.
They do. They really, really do. Still have the ults here.
Oh,
Elves
Chronicle
in the
with the operator.
chat?
I'm so down for
Nah,
this.
I'm gonna get mad.
Okay, that's maybe not what even I expected, but it kind of baits
Nah,
them
this
in as
actually-
well.
this actually
You'll think
ruined
that's
my
gonna be
day.
Kayak, so again, he
This
can have
shit pissed
impact
me
with
off.
that ultimate
This
elsewhere.
shit pissed
And
me
they
off,
go
I can't
for
lie.
Alpha. And look at his
TSPMO
confidence. He
ICL in the chat.
overstays on this willing to
TSPMO
fight out. There's no
ICL.
getting out of there, it felt like, but still, a 1-for-1 trade. Cushy gone. And down to this 4v4.
Very similar plan
Get that
as
shit
what
tatted
we
on
saw
my
in
body.
the previous round. Just go in for that mount control, maybe fight for those orbs, trying to get something going, especially for that
Double
last
XO?
round, whatever you could use for this one. Crashes is so ready with this Odin. Oh, this could be a lot of damage.
Certainly could be. Boast down, ready, everything there. Look at the state of them, trying to back away. Boast actually getting a bit hungry for this. And Kayak going hunting too. They've got no idea. Oh, Kayak!
This is the best player in the world.
Phenomenal performance already. And RRQ looking down in the doldrums here, Bayer. This is a hard performance to come back on into that second half. I wanted to see them maybe have a bit of life in these final rounds.
He reminds
but
me of myself in my
not getting
prime.
past that first hurdle.
Yeah,
Oh, the days.
Xfero still with 30 seconds left. He
Oh,
needs
the
to try
days.
and save this weapon. Of course, Fnatic, huge bank and nothing to lose, and apparently should go hunting for
Haters
him.
will say the
And
Lulu.
it just keeps compounding the problem,
Real ones
right?
know.
This makes it feels like that you can't breathe. It's like a weight on your chest here, and RRQ are feeling the full force of Fnatic. 8-3. It's a strong showing, pulling no punches now.
Hey, RQ has one more chance in this attack to get around, but the pressure for Fnatic has been wonderful. I would have liked, though, for Boaster to be the one having the Odin and Crashes to be sending in the
Actually
utility.
looking
Maybe
good.
that Seas and the Odin could have been the death of at least 2 of the RRQ players. But Kayak, and now he goes on the rifle. He has his ultimate. Chronicle back on that operator. And it looks like RRQ want to go for this rubble control for the last round of their attack.
The Odin is still here, this time obviously in the hands of Crashies. Has to respect it for now. Could assess the fact that there's already been maybe a cross towards Rubble
No
now.
damage.
Wants to confirm that. Chronicles in the rotation.
The skin is kind of nice, no?
Leaning through towards the door. Boaster passing through CT. Now, this is a show of presence, and they go the other side. Now, they don't know about this, though. Maybe heard this rattle off a shot in the last round, but is that in the forefront of their minds? Chronicle waiting. Eyes locked on this.
Chronicle's opping? Nah, he's getting cocky.
And there's patience just falling short. Calls for the one-way. Dodges the flash. Waits for the Prowler.
Oh my God.
Couldn't quite find the timing to thread the needle. But now they back away. He's read the next layer to RRQ's approach.
And all of Alpha Year's utility is already waiting on C for that second layer. He himself is also supporting. 40 seconds left, and RRQ still has to make a move.
Fnatic have done so well at clearing some of these question marks. That late haunt coming in, just making sure they know the lurk's still in play. Chronicle keeping that deeper line, but Kayak finds his stop. Hello, 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 hello! He's gone down, but Chronicle's
Tragic.
on the other side. The spike!
Ooh.
Oh, God, Chronicle! It's a massacre over here!
Yes.
Not yet trying to take steps forward. Delayed by the util.
Tragic scenes.
There is no easy
Tragic
path. There is no
scenes.
straightforward way
Fnatic
through.
are owning.
And for Xvero, he's got 10 seconds.
10
and it's certainly not a dream now. 2 kills, yes, but to find the other 3 was never going to happen here. 9-3 Bayer. This has been a statement half from Fnatic.
Yeah, absolutely. They can be more than happy. They're usually on the other end of a 9-3, but you know, we still have the second half to care for. So let's take a small break and we'll see you on the other side.
Oh my God, the first thing is just a smoke break. What the fuck? Did Boaster just wink at me? What the fuck's happening? You being a professional pro player before on stage, what happens when you want to pee during the match? Can you pause and pee the game? Dog. We are all adults. You can go take a piss before the game starts, man. Why am I answering this question?
To talk about Jemkin, right?
Yes,
we see that
please.
15, but I think it has to do with the difference between him playing on the Euro on this map and him playing on the Raze. I think that is going to play a very big and important part now that we move on to the defense, because he loved getting aggressive, trying to get a little bit of a pick, put in a little bit of pressure, and then go back with that TP. He's not going to have that facility now.
Can you please play for my
And
college
I wonder
tuition?
what the plan is going
Brother,
to be for
ChatGPT
RRQ.
exists.
Yes,
You don't need a fucking
they
degree
have
anymore.
The Omen, the Viper, and the Vice. They
You just need to
should
find a
have
job and then
technically
ChatGPT will do the
an
rest
easy
for you.
time.
Fuck, I
Or
said the word.
easier time.
Yeah, I'll go for easier. Again, though, they did pick up that pistol in the first half. We could either call that a blessing or a curse if you look at the rest of it, but they did pick up the pistol. So maybe this could give them a bit of a stabilizing factor, something to take off the stress here, because you saw by the end of it how aggressive Fnatic were being. It felt like it was trying to prove a point, but early contact
ChatGPT
made.
will soon replace you,
B,
Unk.
a little towards C.
You think AI, me streaming? Nah,
Taking a
AI
lot
is
of
me
time.
streaming
Utilities falling down.
What if AI me streaming is better? What if AI Tarek is better than real Tarek?
Oh,
Fuck.
no, be it a mini-map moment. It was a fumble there from Cushy. And that's the gates open. He knew they were there. The flash confirmed it. The early peak confirmed it. And Kayak, he's going hunting. Again,
But the thing is, like, you would be wrong to fuck with AI Tarek because, like, it's fake.
Proactive in every angle.
And I'm real.
Again, explore CT. A little deeper look towards Waterfall. Any flanks? No.
How do we know you aren't AI
They
Tarek?
are making RRQ reinvest.
Trust me, I do not
just to
give
clear
AI.
This close space.
I actually give the
Alpha,
furthest thing from AI.
Again, on red alert down here, but the site's being retaken, but there's no bullets being placed towards Fnatic. Jemkin does draw blood, but there's still 4 more to clear. They've got to get a move on. Got to get towards that spike. Alpha! Sharp as ever. Xfero's gone down. 21
Wow.
HP, but the time he's buying
Wow, he
is
survived.
precious. 10 made for Fnatic.
Trust
And
me,
it
I
is
am
a
not
brutal
AI.
beginning
Watch me
for
do this mini
RRQ.
crossword.
Then finding the kill.
Trust
3 people
me.
pushing on to see, finding
This is not AI.
the Vice, getting that first kill. We see Kaya going on the aggression. Alpha waiting in his back, just going with him as well. A little bit slower, of course, because race is what it is. But loving this isolating fight. Alpha, you're just moving like a dream. It's not only the vibes. This team is
He's
feeling
rounding it up.
And I'm just worried that RRQ are crumbling under this. Genuinely, I'm worried because
Happy Father's Day,
that was-
Tarek. Thank you,
they're
son.
looking almost scared in this scenario. Oh, and that's maybe why Kayak's not missing a shot. This shouldn't be much of a round, but the problem is it's going to put Fnatic on 11.
You say that, you should have seen Fnatic versus Genji.
Well, I like this though. Paint Shell could be big if the timing's right. Maybe it's too late in the day. Surely Monyet. Hello. Oh, a second. Maybe the hero they need.
Clip this.
That's the spike.
Rex win this map
Found is
13-11.
huge from
Clip
him.
this.
After a
RRQ win this map
quiet start
13-11
here,
off the
this is
Seco.
dreamy stuff. Wait.
Oh.
Sorry, where's Alpha? Someone is looking. I think Xfero's keeping a glance on this. That's really smart. Okay, he's seen him. Alpha. Oh my god, stop! He still takes down Jemkin. That's a 3v2 though. The numbers are good here. Gifted by Monyet on his third.
Spike here.
Knows where the spike is. Fnatic have to come to him. Crashies and Chronicle. Oh my god, come off it! He's taken down Monyet in command here. Crazy guy now filling the void, and they look a bit
Bro, why don't you grab the
hesitant about this 30
gun?
seconds, and it's just shooting
Why did he
through
not
the
grab the
barrel.
gun?
Crazy guy left with just that Marshall popping off shots. He's down to the ghost here. He could back away. He could give them the spike if he wants to. He could fall off from this. He doesn't need to take the fight right now. The drive-by attempted. Oh, it's huge!
The Marshall.
With the Red Bull clutch.
Wow.
Necessary in this moment.
Wow.
I do not want to say it spoken into existence, but Fnatic were struggling
Damn.
with this yesterday.
Good thing
and
he didn't
even
get the
though
Phantom.
I like the look of them being a little bit faster in this executes, Monian and the rest of RRQ so ready in the seaside to stop Fnatic from taking the site.
Okay, let's see.
Just that heartbeat back in. Revitalized by that. Monyet setting that up is everything they could have dreamed of. It opens up a chance. Just a little bit of confidence could give them everything. But Chronicle doesn't want to give them much more.
Eco
Now,
for
Crazy Guy
Fnatic.
was like, do you know what you guys are doing? I'll have a bit of that.
Have a taste
Odin.
of your own medicine.
That's
He
the one.
actually finds a couple of kills. 3-3 now.
Cleared. You can kind of see the shades almost of the protocol list here for Fnatic, even in this sort of round, identifying where that one was going to be, kind of going through the paces, getting the test over towards Rubble. Okay, what's that B site looking like? Cool, let's have a little look towards C.
Yeah.
Everything proactive in this. Does catch. I thought it might have been a bit late, but Cushy's got to be careful. They are ahead of this. Yeah, they are very ahead of this.
Oh,
Crashies
like
from down
Shroud, but not
below.
really, dude.
Gonna get the reward as well. Yeah, Vandal found. That could be a plant.
Yeah, Guardian and Vandal. Both are going to get that spike down. Of course, RRQ respecting this position.
And if
taking
Boaster
their
goes
time.
towards Mound Bayer, he's had some mad clutches from here.
I think a couple of 3v1s, well,
Yes.
1v3s
Yes.
from his side.
But can Crashies alleviate some of that dodging?
Pull back
Out of the
utility.
paranoia. He's still here though, and they fight forward. It's Crashies. Oh my god! How have they stolen that? A MasterCard Thrifty. It was meant to be the turnaround for RRQ, and it is
Damn,
crushed.
Crashy's popping off, dog.
Back-to-back Thrifties now. We thought that for a second, things were looking better for RRQ. But Crashes, he just has a different opinion. He has a different plan for today. He's been having it the entire tournament. Time to stand up.
Nice, come on, boy. You and me, baby. You and me, baby. Him and me. Him and me.
Just get a room.
I-Series
Just get a
poster
room.
back at it. Giving it large, but let's look at what the protocols look like here. We were kind of seeing Fnatic going on that fact-finding mission in that previous round. That actually
that's
worked out in
it.
their favor. Ball's now changed up though.
Nah,
a
I'm
quick
sick.
rotation from RRQ, looking to try and keep pace here where Fnatic are kind of hurting.
I have the spike.
Would have liked maybe Crashes trying to fight for that orb, having that ult really execute.
Ooh, what a shot from Monyet.
Spike down.
Those damn stingers, man.
Crashy's head ringing after that one. Monyet's been the one to keep a couple of these rounds competitive, but a 3-play stack. Kayak, you're good, you ain't that good. Ooh, that has cost him a lot. Ball does get cleared.
Surely. Not back to back to back, right?
You look at this map, again, I love that there's still control on this side, right? You've got Monyet.
Don't let your
playing in off
girlfriend stop
maybe
you from finding your
paranoia.
husband.
Looking to potentially set up, I think it's Crazy Guy over there. Yeah, it is. So Kron, he shouldn't have been able to get this far. Oh, that's my issue.
Chad, if you
He
post a
shouldn't
funny
have
enough
been able
message,
to get
it could get
this
pinned by the
far.
mods.
Kayak's fallen, but Chronicle's still alive. He's pulling all eyes towards this way. Lurk coming in at the same time from Alpha. This is getting messy. Monyet is down low on HP as well. And Alpha's taken this space. Yes, there's a player nearby, but now has to respect that smoke.
Ban Sogo.
To watch out when they go into the site.
Great from Crazy Guy though. Nice re-clear here. Tries to swing off it. Good spacing, good trading. This is good
Time.
from RRQ. 8 seconds now, and Fnatic have found no easy approach. It's Chronicle last alive, and the time has gone from them. RRQ holding on to this, Bayer.
Absolutely. Now back to back to back. Doesn't matter what you bring into the round, it's more what you do with it. And RRQ, a very good idea of how to play with those stingers. The damage that they can do.
Don't
Money,
let
I
your
feel like in
Tarek
this
stop
round,
you from finding your
we saw him
JNAM.
right after the pistol in the eco, him getting a couple of kills. Him also feeling himself.
I think it's the other
finding
way
those
around,
first
no?
ones.
I mean, Monyet, for me, has been pivotal so far.
Oh, yeah.
He isn't sitting towards the very tip top of the board. That's Crazy Guy. He sat down, you know,
Yeah,
9
but
to
the
14.
difference is
But the value is there.
Totally.
It's been exceptional for him.
Love the fact also we saw Crazy Guy using his ultimate. The round, you know, you can 100% win it. You should definitely invest in that.
And
This is a buy.
Yeah, a pace change here and a punish.
Wow.
Chronicle going to catch Crazy Guy instantly, off the rip.
A lot of Odin in this game.
Yeah.
Almost in every round, I must say.
I mean, and look at the buy that Fnatic have forged around it as well. This is, they've got what they could. Kayak's got a Vandal, you've got a Stinger and a Sheriff.
So here's the thing, now with the man advantage, having Kayak's ultimate and also Crashies to get that information onto the site, you trigger some of Kushi's utility. Are you going to try and go for the C execute again?
Why no Hypox? I'm not sure.
I quite like that actually from Cushy here.
Oh.
Wonder if it does pay dividends at this point though.
You're gonna think maybe it's on B, they still haven't explored that part of the map.
You can see the Prowler going through that side. You can see maybe it's going to be Crashes testing for it. Yeah, doesn't hear it either. So I quite like this adjustment. It is testing the protocols. Because if Kayak does go in, he probably would be alone at this point. Now, it does have the ult if he did want to use that as almost the bulldozering factor, but as it stands, the correct read until this rotation comes out from Fnatic. If they leave this C side of the map, the rest looks very vulnerable there.
Wait,
Almost
A
4
is
players
free.
from RRQ already ready on C.
Yeah, everyone they have is on that C side. They believed in it firmly, and it's wrong for now. It looks like it's going to be towards B. That's where the spike is. They've cleared through A. They've also seen nothing. This is getting curious. This should also be setting off some alarm bells about this retake potential.
The fuck?
coming in.
Where are the defenders?
Plants
No
now
joke,
down.
I'm pressing tab. Did they lag out?
And Monyet is walking carefully, slowly, cautiously. 2 players waiting to punish. All eyes turn towards the site now. The Flood waiting to come back in. Alpha a mile away, but still here comes the pressure. Jemkin clearing Cushy there. He needs to speed
Oh,
up.
the
He
flank.
might just make it back in time, but now we're in uncomfortable positions. The C's, the Orb, the Diffuse
What a
gets
trade.
ripped away from it. Monyet wants
Flank.
to go back though. A 2v2 and Alpha completely
Wow.
unconsidered.
Wow,
Gets
well
away
played,
on the
well
beat for the
played.
night. Fnatic forcing it
Well
up to 12.
played.
I doubted the timing on it, but it worked out in the end.
And Fnatic were so slow yesterday. We know that they're so comfortable when the clock is running down, they still think time is on their favor. And for this round, at some point you might think it's a little bit overcooked. We saw Alpha so far, but taking such advantage of this advantageous 5v4 right at the beginning. Yes, the trades were coming in for RRQ. Are you really going to expect the Chronicle is pushing from behind with an Odin? You expect him to be playing from main and whatnot. Very good round, and now 7 rounds for Fnatic to close their map pick.
And already Monyet has fallen. Kayak, how have you found 2 so quick? Jemkin feels like a footnote in Kayak's story so far.
I'm
As top
chilling.
5. It has been one-sided.
Jemkin had to show up in this round.
Yeah, and he sadly hasn't.
Kayak has the nade again. Got everything for a Kayak round.
Waiting here though. Again, I like this tempo from Fnatic, pausing for a second. And
Good
RRQ,
freezing. I think that they need this
Did
too.
RRQ
You already
use
have
any
the
timeouts?
advantage.
They used both their timeouts
We
in the
didn't
first
see
half.
if there's a response for them. You have
So
all
yes.
the utility from Alpha behind you. You can rest assured.
Yep.
Bomb buddy out.
Contact made. Sphera's got to be careful here. Doesn't take too much damage, but look at the util. Yeah, it's just such an easy punish for Fnatic when they tailor-make this sort of take. And Cushy
Nice
falls.
trade.
It's
GG.
just
They got
too
owned. Well played,
simple.
Fnatic. They played so
Fnatic,
well.
I've got to say it. Looking like they have a point to prove. Boaster up to his usual business, but the pacing, the tempo player, they came in looking mean today.
They've got all the moves, Lauren. Everything is ready for a lower bracket run. On the other side, we see an RRQ showing up those maps without the deco, and it's not looking brilliant, but hey, they decided to go into Haven. That will be the next map. So let's toss this to a break and gather some thoughts from the analyst desk.
I thought they were about to kiss.
I work my ass off. I'm still getting paid though.
And I just enough to get up in this club, have me a good time until my time was up. Hey, let's get it now. I want the time of my life. Yeah, hey. Oh baby, now. Ooh, give me the time of my life. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You guys obviously had to choose your priorities. So what did you guys decide to
Oh,
focus on
Veil.
coming into today? Was
Damn.
it trying to keep it
I don't
as
think
clean as
I don't
possible,
know if I would have
or
got that.
resetting the
That took a
mentality, or
while.
making sure that you tweak the strats to make sure you counter RQ?
We focused a lot on ourselves. I think losing yesterday sucked, but I don't think any of us were like particularly stressed. I think we just made it difficult for ourselves. And even in this first map here, we made some like critical errors, losing another pistol, another round 2. So we like to make it hard for ourselves, but overall it gives us reps, it gives us, practice. So I'm happy with it.
Thank you for your insight. My neck hurts, so I'm gonna let you go. Thank you.
What the hell?
Welcome to my world,
Oh,
Jen.
he's
I've
so
had
tall.
that problem all year long in EMEA. But you heard it there from Coach Milan. They like to make things a little bit difficult for themselves, but this is a win, Mimi, and a dominant one.
It really is, and I think the biggest difference you can see from this and the last series Fnatic played is just like the energy they are bringing, the confidence in all of these players. I feel like it was really only Kayak.
Fnatic 2-0? I'm down, to be honest. I'll say it. I'm freaking with it. I'm freaking with it. What song should we play? It's Carol G again. Nah, I don't know this song. I know this song now.
Adjustments to adapt to the non-Tejo meta. Has that process been more challenging than you thought it would be?
I think challenging so far in our matches. I feel like in practice it's been good. But we didn't really play like ourselves. I still feel like we're not taking enough fights. So hopefully now we get to take some more fights.
Okay, thank you and good luck. Go fight!
They come to Amsterdam before Paris? Shit.
Bitch, throw it up. Heard you got a man, but he ain't like us. Little bitty bang.
Oh, that first seed comes with a lot of expectation. They need to live up to it now. Starting out on the attacking side, of course, Fnatic on the defense. And if you're spotting out Kayak, you might be having to start commanding that flea on site. The man was monstrous in map 1. Can he get handled early here?
Little bit of contact over an A. Look at the positions for the rest of Fnatic.
Oh, but it's been spotted. Monyet knows about this. A bit of a trade out. But I like this. I like what we're seeing, kind of drawing this eye towards B, trying to draw this. But if anything, you've now got to brawl with the big boys down towards Long. A pop with the shield, but it doesn't save you now. Justin! Surprise
We're going map
appearance
3,
behind,
dude.
gonna find
Just like
Booster.
that.
Clears all 3. It's beautiful work from RRQ.
Absolutely gorgeous from their side, getting all of that
Yoru
attention, all
ISO,
those
yes, that's
eyes
Fnatic
onto
comp.
B. To
They have
that
Neon
beautiful drop,
Yoru.
forcing Fnatic to have a
Wait.
response, put in some pressure somewhere else
The
in the map.
RRQ
If you have
comp is
3
crazy
people defending
too.
on A. Chronicle is going to be stopped by that trapwire. His position revealed now for RRQ.
And I love that. Whether or not they were aware of how well they manipulated Fnatic once
Game
to
is
take
done
back
after one
space,
round? Yes,
it
bro.
worked perfectly with that
I know
pressure
Puck.
on B. Now, can they close this out cleanly? Chronicle and Crashies to try and mount some sort of resistance. Not looking likely. Last now, Crashies, a 1v5 last. And I think we know the answer. And it's Crazy Guy to close. That is exactly what the doctor ordered for RRQ.